Welcome to our channel here at Financial Hub and the 8th episode of our Forex market breakdown. This week on the fundamental space, we have the United States tomorrow releasing their core inflation rate. Later on Thursday, we have the Australians releasing the data on unemployment rate. To add on to that, of late the US dollar has been gaining momentum and strength. The question is, where are we going? Let's get on to that on our chart breakdown.
So hi guys, today before we go down to the charts, we thought I think it's important for me to show you some of the articles that we have been doing and how they have been playing out, so that you guys can also come to our site and check out some of the articles that we have done and how they have played out. So for example, I think last week we were calling for Euro to fall, and you can see it fell down. GBP on its way to new lows, you can see it's going lower. And we can talk about several things. Your USD long-term outlook, we were talking about a short play coming. Could Aussie be in for a retest? USD card to visit the 1.32 mark, you can check it out also. The pullback on gold before the collapse, you can check where gold is currently. This is the article, the pullback on gold, USD card to visit, gold short play aligning. So I think you guys can also confirm what we've been doing and the work that you're doing from our site and our insights on how we are talking about the markets. You can see that we have the right tools and the right acumen to deliver to you what you require in order for you to be successful in the markets. So I can also check out, there's one particular one I'm looking for. It was a long-term play that I was looking for in oil, and I want to show you just how beautiful the play out has been so far. So you can also check out by this, sometimes you're also wrong. We are not right all the time, but if you compare the number of times we are wrong and the number of times we are right, then you'll get that we at least have an insight into what we are doing. So yeah, it was in August 20th. Yeah, I think I have gone below it. And yep, this is it. Oil tops at the $75 mark per barrel. So you can see oil, this is the video. And this was my setup, and I was looking for oil to come back lower to touch the $55 mark, and I've been riding this trade for quite some time now. Commodity has generally been a bear market, with gold falling close to 2,000 pips from 1360 to 1175. Oil on the weekly chart formed a 3-pin pattern on the crucial supply zone, which was in confluence with this. Oil recently took out the 60, spiking lower to the before going back to trade. So technically the commodity looked like it has aligned for a correction to $55 per barrel, and they'll only confirm a reversal if we take out the 55 level and break the sloping upward trend line on the weekly chart. I'll be looking for short plays as the market heads lower to the $55 mark, and I'll keep you updated on what is happening. So that is just a sample of what I'm talking about, and I'll go down and break the oil charts. We also have this section on trading wall, and on this section we get to go through psychology mainly, and philosophy in trading, and geopolitics events. So we actually were thinking of separating the two because we had started bringing in so much on this section. This section was only for understanding philosophy and psychology of trading. So you can see trading as a business, the three main drivers of gold, economic calendar. So I think in markets you have to read a lot, and going into this can show you that we spend most of our time looking for information and learning what we can be able to benefit us in the market, because trading is basically a game of preparation. So yeah guys, so I just wanted to show you our site and some of the things that are on our site and how to use it. Also on these technical videos, let me just show you the final thing. On these technical videos, you can go down to these technical videos and check out the several videos that you have been uploading on YouTube also fortunately are uploaded on the site, so you can check out some of the videos like the psychology of trading, forex breakdowns, forex pyramid, forex breakdown, common mistakes, trading signals, and forex trading challenges. So we've not really been putting much effort into developing these videos and doing them in the best way, but next year when we finally launch our course, because we've been putting all our effort into the course, then we'll maybe derive our focus into these things and breaking down the charts. So from then on, now I'll go down to the chart breakdowns. So on the chart breakdowns, we'll start off with euro. Last week we highlighted a possible collapse or a possible bearish momentum to be coming into the markets, and this week we can see already from last week we tried going higher, got to 1450, which I was calling out for, and we went lower straight down, taking out the levels and heading to 1260, which I was calling for. And the whole of last week I was calling for 1260 and ultimately 1.1395. And the euro seems like it's headed to 1.135 with no pullback on the 1260 mark. So if I go down to the daily chart, I usually use the weekly chart only to get an insight into what we are doing, and so that's why I don't pay special attention into the weekly chart, especially on these videos. I usually use it in a better way while I'm doing my own analysis and trying to get an insight, but in these videos I don't go deeply into what we are doing and how we do it, so that's why it doesn't take me as much time on the weekly chart. So I'll first get things off for you to be able to see these things clearly. So this is the euro. We are actually in a channel. Using my Fibonacci, I can try to get if we are done with this move, and boom, I can plot it from there to there. We had a retracement to the 61.8, which was also a short squeeze, I think, of those people who had executed short trades on this breakout. You can see we came back higher, short squeeze, getting these people out, and now we are going lower. 27.2 has been hit, 61.8 are lining up with the 1.1395. I still see some potential for some downside momentum, and especially if this level does not hold, the current level 1260. I don't think this is a solid break. A move 25 pips below a level does not signify a break yet, so possibly, but still there's some bearish momentum. So perhaps a move to retest this level would also be a pullback and heading lower now to touch this level. But if we don't get this pullback to retest this level, then I think we'll be going lower. So there are possible scenarios at this. So we might get a pullback, head back higher, touch this level, then go lower and touch this. So I'm not seeing any possible likely scenario where we're going to get a significant bull move. So I'm not looking for any bullish plays. I'm looking for short plays. So I'm looking for a short play. If we are able to go back to this level, then I'll be shorting. But if we go straight downwards, I don't see any right execution point to be going lower with it. So I already made some pips off this trade, but I'm already out. I'm waiting for another setup to align for me. So in the 4-hour chart, I can perhaps open for you the 4-hour chart, and on the 4-hour chart you have seen the channel that I have already. So I can perhaps bring it back for you guys to see it. So we have this move from there to there, and we have another trend line heading lower. So we can start off the trend line from this point and we can take it lower, and you can see we have touched the third point actually. So we're on the third point, which is also the zone that I was calling for, 1260. So perhaps we might get a pullback. We might get a pullback from this point. I can see a pullback coming in into the markets, but I cannot tell you when and how fast we will go back. But if we are going back, I'm looking for 1330. I'm looking for this level to go short. If we don't get to go higher, and I can use this inside bar formation to tell me if we'll be able to go higher. So I'll actually use it in terms of this candle. So if you are able to get a close below this candle, then I don't think we'll be going anywhere further. So I think on euro, I'm looking for short plays to head lower, but currently I'm not touching this pair. I'm just stalking and watching what will be happening on this pair currently. So that's my bias on euro, and I'll go down to dollar index and do for you a short break of dollar index. So dollar index here, we have two channels. I actually have this long channel which is in my weekly chart, and I have this short channel. So I expect $98 to be hit, then some supply to be coming back into the market, pushing it lower sometimes. But I can see we have touched the channel, and this candle seems to be a bearish candle, some bearish momentum. So some supply coming in, but a touch of 98 will signify a good level for me to go short, and a touch of 98 will also be a touch of 1.1395. So for the euro, I'm not looking for any bullish move currently. I'm waiting for 1.1395, and if I go down back to the euro and show you, because the dollar index is highly correlated to the euro, so I usually confirm my plays from there. So if you don't get any move, then you can expect a touch of 1.1395, which will signify a touch of 98 on the other side, and it will be a move that will now give us perhaps the necessary confidence for us to go long. If you are not short already, then I don't see how you are rushing for short unless you trade on a scalping strategy, or you just look for 20-30 pips and you're out. For us, we look for anything between 80 and 150 pips on any single trade, and I don't see where the risk reward will apply on that trade based on that strategy. So 1 week chart, euro yen. This is the next pair. Still in this consolidation band, we are not past it, 132 and 127.3. We have not taken out this level significantly, heading lower to touch the 123.5, which is the next level, and I expect this level to be touched honestly soon, and very soon. So I can see some collapse coming into these pairs. So euro, we are going down, and we also have Italy, some issues with Italy, so we can expect some downside momentum on euro. So last week we were calling on short plays, and again 129, I was calling on 129, but unfortunately we got to 129.5, had a 3-pin pattern, and now we are going down lower. So currently we also can see a pullback coming back in, offering us some good place to enter short and head lower. So if we use our Fibonacci and try to see where this pair is headed and where we got a pullback from, we get that we were capped by the 50% mark, and we headed lower to, we are heading lower to 125.5 and ultimately lower to 123.5, which is the 61.8 extension. So I'm looking for 123.5, 61.8 extension, but that's long term. So short term, let me show you the targets that I'm looking for. And I'm looking for a break of this trend line short term first of all, and a move to 125.5 with a close below this level. If I go down to the 4-hour chart, so I had this channel, you can see a break of this channel, and we don't have any pullback yet coming into the markets. So we have been capped by this level, the 127.3 zone, and we're already going back. So using my Fibonacci again, try to get where we will move to. So 128.5, and then we can also look back to 129 like I was calling. So 128.5, 129.0 will be a good shorting point. 129.5, but I don't see how we will touch this level again. But 129 or 128.5 is a good mark. So I'm looking for those two levels, and I think we will touch ultimately 129.0, which is a round number. It's also a psychological level, an institutional level, and also a level in confluence with the 61.8 fib. So I'm looking for that level before going short on this pair, and you can see some bullish momentum is already coming back in. I'll be putting my moving averages back in to see where we will touch the moving averages, and let me bring back in the 20-day simple moving average. So yeah, you see that will also be a touch of the moving average. So quite some confluences aligning on that level. Next pair that I do, USD card. So yeah, this is USD card weekly chart. We were calling for a break of this trend line, and you can see it was broken. It was a counter trend line, and we have officially touched the 1.32 mark like I was saying. So I expect some supply to be coming in, and I'm looking for a nice place to short this market. And if we go back down to the daily chart, because this is where I have the minor levels marked, don't mind these minor levels on my chart, I know how I use them. So yeah, you can see we have closed above 3.2 with quite some number of pips, about 30 pips to 3.236. So I'm looking for a move to this level at 3.270 where I'll be shorting, and on the 4-hour chart I have 3.270, looking for short play from 3.270 and 3.3. I think shorting at the 1.32 mark was not a really good idea, because we expected some move to come in, squeezing those who had already short at the 1.32 mark, and ultimately hitting the 1.3270. So 1.3270, 1.330, good areas for going short. And if we go down to the 4-hour chart, yeah, this is the 4-hour chart. You can see my levels marked. You can see how beautifully this pair has played out, and you can see that 3.270 is also in confluence with the touch of this upper trend line on the channel. So a touch of this and a good bearish signal will give me confluences to execute short trades, and I wouldn't be looking for a big move on this pair, because okay, a big move would happen, but I will be looking for only 70 pips on this pair and I'd be out. So I'll be looking for a move to this point with a short executed at that point, but I'd also move my target to this trend line if we could get a break below 1.32, but I don't see how we'll get a break past the 1.32 mark. So yeah, that's my bias on USD card. Currently I'm not long, I'm can't long this market. I was long sometimes back, but came out with a touch of 1.32. So hope you guys are also out, and if you're not out, hope you are looking for a good place to exit the market, because I expect some supply to be coming in, after such a long bullish move, we can't expect the markets to continue going higher without any significant supply coming into the market currently. So yeah, that's my bias on USD CAD gold. Last week I highlighted some short plays coming in, some down moves coming to this level, and you can see beautifully playing out to touch this level, and we are now touching this fourth trend line. So we are at a crucial level on this commodity. Quite some good analysis that I did on this pair, but I won't go into detail to show you because I don't think it will be of help to you, but I have an insight on where this pair is going currently. So I think currently where we are is a crucial level, and I'm waiting for at least today's close and tomorrow's close to tell me how we'll be acting. I don't believe in a break of one candle and quick to gain an idea or to hold on to an opinion that we could be going lower. But if you get a solid close below this trend line and below this level, then I'll be looking for a move perhaps to 1175 and a move lower, but I don't see how we'll get below the 1190 mark. So I'm looking for 1190 to execute long trades, sending this pair higher to the 1270 mark, because I don't see how we could be going lower currently. So yeah, that's my gold insight. On the 4-hour chart, I can show you some of the things that we have. We have this trend line which I can zoom in for you guys to be able to see. Yeah, so we have a trend line over here, and currently gold is at that zone. You can see we have this trend line, and you can see we have been touching that trend line and playing out beautifully, but we finally had a close below the trend line, which is not a really good close, but we are going lower. Then we have some patterns inside here. We have like this ABCD pattern, which is already complete, so giving us more confidence for executing a long trade at this point. So yeah guys, so for this pair, I'm still I'm waiting for a long play somewhere between, you can see 1190, like I'm telling you on the daily chart. Yeah, so 1190, perhaps we could get a false breakout of this trend line, but 1190, I don't see a break of 1190. And 1190, expect some bullish momentum to be coming back, sending this pair higher, and we can expect this commodity to be going higher. So I'll be updating you on what is going on the site. Last week we were looking for short plays, and you can go and check episode 7 for you to see some of the moves that we were looking for. And actually I think we will calculate some of the pips that we usually share with you guys, so that you guys can be able to see the number of pips we usually talk about when we say that we are looking for this level or we are looking for this and that to happen in the market. So yeah, we also have this channel. You can see we had a break of the channel and a retest, but I don't see how we'll be going below 1190. I still hold on to 1190 despite these fears of a short play coming in and sending the pair completely lower. So yeah, that's my insight on gold, and I'll sum up my day by looking at oil, crude oil, 1 week chart. We called on this pair to go to the $55 mark quite some time back, and you have seen on the site we had some article, and I think also on some videos we did some article. We actually topped at the 75 mark with a double top formation. It was also an R3 mark, and we've been heading lower to the $60 mark, but I expect a move to the $55 mark. Honestly, I expected a pullback from the $60 mark, but unfortunately we never got that level mark, that pullback, because the $60 is around psychological, and it's also an institutional level. So I expected some pullback to come into that mark, but you can see we are heading lower. Again, this is perhaps a possible false breakout to the 58.5 mark before heading higher, pulling back, and then going lower to touch the $55 mark. On the daily chart, you can see that oil has been going down every single day for the last almost 2 weeks. We've been opening down and closing lower and lower. So next level that I'm looking for, 57.4, and ultimately 55, which is where I expect the new higher low to be formed before reversing on this commodity. So oil, still some pips to the downside, but be careful on how you execute these positions, because if you're not long at the $60 mark, I don't see how you could be going lower with it. On the 4-hour chart, let me show you on the 4-hour chart. This is the 4-hour chart. I'll actually show you 1-hour chart so that I can show you the trend line I had, and it was a nice execution. So we have this trend line that has been heading lower, and I executed a short play on oil actually yesterday. So I am short on this pair, but I'm going to get out very soon. So that's my trend line, and you can see here we touched this trend line the third time, and the touch of this trend line was also a pullback. So it was a very good entry level. We also had a gap which clearly had to be filled, so there was a lot of confluences aligning for a short play. and you can see that the pattern is now complete and you can be getting a move upwards. Again, this was also a short squeeze of this one executed this long plays. From time to time, we'll see the market move to a certain direction, then go back, squeezing out those who are quick to enter into position. So these are things that happen and will happen from time to time again. So that's my oil insight currently, 57.4 if we are going lower, or a pullback past the $60 mark. On pound, this is pound daily chart. Last week we called on a move from this level, and actually we are calling on a move to touch this trend line, which was also a pullback on the 78.6 and a possible collapse on this pair. It played out exactly as we were hoping it would, and we are currently riding this trade. We are riding the number of pips that you expect us to be getting, and we expect a move to go head lower to touch this level, but a break past the 1.27 will prove to be quite crucial, and I can tell you that it will be quite a task for this pair. So currently you can see some demand coming back into the markets, but I don't expect this demand to last in this market. After such a huge downfall, we definitely expect such things to be happening. So on this pair, I'm still short. I expect the markets to head lower, but 1.27 will prove to be a critical level, and you should be cautious of that level. I'll be updating you on the site, and you can check out on the site some of the updates that are there. As you head lower, we already have this gap which will be going back to close, and that will also be a pullback, and that will also give me a very good point again to execute short trades. So that's our insight on the 4 pairs, and I'll pass it on to Caleb to do the other pairs.
Hey guys, so welcome to this video of Australian dollar, and basically since Kenneth has covered most of it on the dollar, I won't really get deep into it, but just an outlook of here what we saw happen last week. As you saw in our article, the article I did last week on Australian dollar, I talked about having a spike if the upward momentum was to remain. We said we'll have a spike to 0.7300, and that's what we beautifully had. As you can see, I'd written a potential to see a false breakout to around that level, and right now we can't really say that it's a false breakout. Maybe the trend is changing direction, and right now, as you can see, we're back into our channel that we've been having all year round. And if you go to our weekly time frame just to get a better picture, so as you can see, this is our weekly time frame, and if you zoom in just to take a look at it, what you can see is that we had that beautiful shooting stuff close at the end of the week. We spiked up above our trend line. This was the 5th time we were retesting our trend line, and we had that close below that channel, and showing that there's not much strength coming from the bulls. So future projections, I'm not really projecting that will go really far to the bottom. I refined my levels after looking at different aspects of this market, and I changed my support from 0.705 to from 0.700 to 0.705, which I found as a really much better support level, even looking at history. So sorry about that. So we had that close as a shooting star formation, which was a retest of 0.7300. And just to finish off, just to get a broad view of what's going on, is that we might see a little bit of bearish momentum for now that we're back into our trend line. And if we don't have that much strength, what we can see happen is that we can have a retracement down to a 78.6 level, which, if I draw a line that is in line with our previous around here, as you can see, we had that beautiful touch which is in line with 78.6. So we might have that formation. Maybe that's a target direction, target area. And if I extend this, which is in line with also a retest of this line that was broken. So if we have that retest to there, if we don't get much momentum to the downside, what we can have is another bounce, which will be sort of a formation of a head and shoulder, which can propel us to go back to the upside. So there's a room for playing that. We see that break, come back, and have that retest of 78.6, retest of the broken trend line, and up we go. So that's basically what I have on Aussie dollar. If we go maybe down to the EA, which is a bit confusing. EA for the last we saw last, we had this beautiful drop all the way from 1.635 hundred all the way to 1.5625, where we're currently trading at right now. What we may see is that you can see this previously broken trend line to the downside. We can come and retest that because we're seeing exhaustion of the downward momentum. We've been on downward momentum for so long, and we already hit our targets of our double top formation around 1.5625, and we might see a touch of this, and once we touch that, we might see another pullback around this side. Maybe at most we can go and touch 1.5870. So that's what we're having for now. Right now, won't really not really focused on the EA. It's a bit confusing, not giving us a clear sign, but basically that's what I'm projecting to have. So we'll have a retest of our trend line, that's for sure, or maybe around here. That's our first target, 1.5750. So that's what I'm calling for now, and maybe we might have also a consolidation around here, because after you see that crazy drop, it's just like before here. As you can see, we had this crazy rise and we had sort of a consolidation around here, and now maybe this crazy drop, we might have another consolidation around here before we get that beautiful trend direction. So that's basically what I have on EA, basically what we have at Financial Hub for this week, and I hope you may enjoy the week, and may the peeps be with you as you enjoy your trading journey. Have a good one.